Hello friends and welcome back for another episode of Indie Impressions. My name is Nick and today we're going to be checking out an early preview version of a game called Scale by developer Steve Swink. This is a first-person reality manipulation game, and that's sort of a subgenre coined by the developer himself. And as you may know, if you've been around this channel for quite a while, I have a super huge love for games that have this sort of like wondrous, mystical, magical feeling to them, and first-person sort of surreal games. All of those things I feel coalesce very much in Scale. Now, I've only played about 5 minutes of this game, and largely I don't know a ton about it, but the little bit that I've seen, I already feel like I have enough to give you a huge recommendation on this one, and I wanted to bring this one to your attention right now because the game is actually going to be wrapping up its Kickstarter campaign fairly shortly after this episode goes up. So let us jump right into things. I'll show you a little bit what it's about, and hopefully urge you guys to go check out the Kickstarter yourself. Alright, so here we are in the world of Scale. We start off in what looks to be sort of a cave with these crystalline, beautiful particles hanging in the air. Now, I'm not sure if there's supposed to be any exposition or narrative. Given that this is a preview version, things might still be quite a bit early. But this is where we start anyway for this moment, and I have to say it's a pretty nice way to start. You get a bit of a nice vibe, visually from this. It reminds me a little bit of Darwinia, if anything, and maybe also a little bit of Fract as well. The way these polygons look so chopped up on the walls, and it's not like it's low-res on purpose. I think this is just the art style, and I think the art style actually works quite well. So we wander through this cave. I almost feel like I want to call it the Cave of Time or something, but it's definitely more like a Cave of Wonder or Magic or something. And we end up in this huge open area, which is sort of like a vault, and you'll notice we've got all these little domes filled with what appear to be tiny world of some kind, and each one of these has a corresponding number with a door. You'll notice, of course, that crystal with the number in it. There's also another crystal with a number in it on your UI, and that one says 0 right now, so we're probably not going to be making our way into any of those anytime soon. There's also these little, broken smokestacks or something, or maybe they're just polygonal cubes or something hanging out down in this hole, but we don't seem to have the ability to get to that big old door just yet, so we're going to have to make our way back up here for now, provided I don't get myself stuck on these stairs. So we'll hop back to the beginning, and we will start things at the top. Now, in the short little preview time that I had before I actually started recording, I did go to this little house world, which you can sort of go in out of sequence if you choose, at least in this preview version, and I have to say, without knowing anything about the game, I still didn't really have any trouble picking up on it. But let's go into the proper first area and see what there is to see. So we're presented with a little bit of like a Mario 64 style menu screen where we have what appears to be like our hint for how to get the first crystal. Memory number 1 is flower up, so we're going to hit start for that. And this will bring us to a totally new environment, and one that is incredibly detailed. Now, Scale is a Unity game, and that's not exactly an engine that I always associate with the highest degree of graphical fidelity, but I have to say the developer has gotten a lot of mileage out of this when it comes to all of this detail. I mean, you'll notice all the ceiling has individual polygons modeled on it, the wall as well, all the rocks behind it. The walls over here also have like little protrusions, the floor has cracks in it, instead of just a texture, and I think that choosing to make a flat shaded wall instead of a colorful texture or a graphical representation, I think goes much further in this case and results in a much more interesting visual style. So we seem to be presented with a huge pit that the only way forward is to fall into, so I guess we will do that. And you'll notice our character is actually modeled for once. We can actually see our own feet, which is a surprisingly rare thing to run into in first-person games. So there's our tutorialization saying spacebar is jump, and we have more of this mesh, and the walls made of rock and everything, and then we've got whatever these little silos seem to be. They almost look like they would dispense tea or coffee or something. Maybe one day they will do such a thing. Let's use that switch, opens up that gate. And between the beautiful visual aesthetic and the audio, which is also, I think, quite outstanding, it definitely sets a nice ambience. This game is very kind of a chill, relaxing, sort of contemplative game. Feels, like I said, a little bit on the magical side, a little bit on the whimsical side, and it feels like it channels a little bit of something like a Little Big Planet in some ways, which I think is nothing but a positive. So we found our scale gun. This is the primary method of interaction in this one, and we can, using the left and right click, both scale things up and down. So in this case, we can make that much larger or even smaller. And as you'll see, it actually does change the weight of the object as well, so we can probably use that to our own advantage as well. This seems to be our one impediment at the moment, so we can use this to shrink it to an extent that we can actually pick it up and move it. And then let's drop this over here on the next scale. And we'll just continue to scale it up until it weighs enough that we can get through that gate. Now, we seem to have some bars in the way with another scale on the other side. I'm going to go out on a limb here and guess I probably have to pick this up and pass it through the bars and then drop it on the other side, scale it back up, and that's exactly what I needed to do. This is my first time going through this, but yeah, it was a fairly obvious puzzle, I have to say. So in this case, this flower right here, I believe is going to act as an elevator. You'll notice also there is scale juice. As I shoot these items, they both either give up or add crystals, depending on what I'm doing, which give us more ability to both shrink and embiggen items. So I'm going to stand on this flower, scale it up, and I should be able to get quite a bit of height. And that actually allows us to get over this wall and get to the primary area that we saw in the enclosure when we first started. So it looks to be that there is a crystal right there. I'm not sure how exactly I'm going to get to it just yet, but if I was to guess, I would think it has something to do with these flowers. There is even more, though, in this area that we can look around in, and I assume most of this stuff is going to be all explored later in further challenges. And I like that there's this little playground, I mean, in both senses, in the fact that it is actually literally a playground, and the fact that it is also a bit sprawling as well, and gives you some time to look around if you choose, or you can head right to a goal as well. These spikes look a little bit on the scary side. Can I actually shrink these as well? Oh, I can. Now that I've fallen down here, though, I'm not so sure that was that good of an idea. I'm not sure there's actually a way back out, so I might... Oh, there's actually a crystal hiding down here, so I might as well just go ahead and grab that. Particle get. Okay, I guess we're calling them particles in this case. So if I continue, where is that going to drop me? Is it going to put me back in the same level? Oh, that was actually the final crystal or particle of this area. So let's go back and we'll get the proper one by standing on the flower if we are lucky. Now, is this going to put us... Oh, we got to do the little scale thing every single time? A little surprised by that, actually. I figured we would have started back at the same position, because we're pretty much going to get the hang of this first area a few times. Well, after the first time, I would say, not even in a few times. But still, it gives us a chance to enjoy this scenery one more time. I think I'll only do this one more time, and I'll probably just look around instead of just go right for the particle then, since we have to work for it a little bit more. So I am very curious to see what the developer is going to do when this becomes a full game. Like, how much meat to this game should we expect? Because I'm not sure, but as it is right now, I already love it. I mean, there's not that much to it yet. But if we just keep adding on to things, and it has the same visual style and the same music presentation, this is definitely something I could see spending quite a bit of time with and just getting lost in and enjoying the ambience that's set in this one. Alright, let's scale up again. I really like that you can just pick up things, too, and just move them if you want. And then there's also the fact that the lighting actually changes as you scale these items up, and really the only limit is until it butts into another object, or until you run out of juice, so it's one or the other. In this case, you can even use this thing a little bit like a trampoline. If you scale it up quickly, it actually bounces you way up into the air, so there's probably some situations when you're going to have to use that out of necessity to reach another place or another position that you're supposed to be in. Wow, that is a big old treasure chest. I'm not sure how I'm supposed to get over there just yet. Oh, okay, I guess I can stretch this column. And what about... Nope, none of those. I like that it's just pretty frank with you, too, when you look at certain objects. Like, nope, can't do that. It's nice to give you that visual feedback. I mean, it's not always necessary. You could probably handle it without it. But still, it's kind of cool. Oh, I guess what we're seeing here is this is... I don't know if this is supposed to be like a giant treasure chest as well, but it looks like we can see the top of the geometry from over here. So I'm not sure necessarily we're supposed to go in this direction. But still, I like the fact that we can sort of break the game a little bit. So I should be able to hopefully get across this chasm if I choose by placing one of these flowers here. And let's go for the same technique that we did before. We'll probably get this a little closer to the edge if possible. Can I place it right on the edge? Yeah, that should work. And we'll look down and scale up. Oh, we're blocked already. Is it because I'm just running into this thing? What am I blocked by? There's some artificial blockage here, because yeah, it doesn't look like there's anything blocking me, actually. Maybe there's an invisible box around this particular area. Pretty cool, too, that you can scale little weird things like the clouds and stuff. Now, in this case, I might actually be able to get rid of one of the clouds to make the other one even bigger. No, okay, I guess there's a little bit of a box around that, too. Or maybe it's just hitting the ceiling. I'm not sure really which. There's this lovely tree over here. I wonder if I can do anything with that. I can pick it up. Can I use it to cross the spike pit? Probably not a surface that I'm going to be able to really stand on, but maybe if I knock the thing over... Is there a way to do that? Oh, there we go. Oh, no, now it's blocked. What about this sucker? Can I use that in any way? What if I shrink it? Nope, that's as small as it goes. Alright, none of these objects wants to really cooperate. What about over across the way? Maybe I could grab... Oh, you're shooting the wrong thing, man. I want that. Oh, I can make this archway freaking gigantic. I guess I could probably stand on top of this thing, right? Can I actually get up on there? Yeah, I think I can, right? No. There we go. Okay, it had to be a little bit bigger for my feet to even fit on top of it. And I think blocking in this case is just every time it comes in contact with my feet, we're blocked again. Alright, so that's a pretty good size, but I'm not sure if that's going to be enough to make the clearance that I need. What if I grab... Oh, I wish I would have had that tree with me when I chose to come up here. I could have probably tried to lay it down across this. So let's just make a dive for it and see if we can make it by that. Oh, that's a violent way to go. I wasn't actually expecting there to be blood in this game. I figured we would just sort of fall down and through those. What I'm going to do in this case, though, let's head back out. Now that we're here, we can go back to the hub. And we have a crystal, so we should be able to move on to another world. And just want to show this one off really quickly. Now, I'm not sure any of the other areas have been quite as developed as that first one. On my very short time experiencing this level, it felt like there wasn't quite as much to see or do here. Houseception is the title, so we've got to use that clue somehow to figure out where exactly we're supposed to go. So we're presented, in this case, with a little floating island. Not a whole lot going on around here, except there is this tiny house in the center of the area, and I'm pretty sure you know what we're going to be doing with this. Now, I'm just a huge fan of this concept in general, because, I mean, this thing is, like, a little bit bigger than the size of a dollhouse. Now I can actually just pick the thing up and move it around if I choose. But with a little bit of scaling, house becomes freaking huge. We can actually just walk right into it. Now there doesn't seem to be a whole lot going on in the house just yet, but I'm not sure if that's intentional or we're still just working this stuff out. That's always one of the questions that I always have with games that are still sort of in their preliminary forms or still in development. Oftentimes you have to ask, you know, is this the way it's supposed to be, or am I just not seeing everything just yet? I want to reposition this so I can get it even bigger. Because what is there going on upstairs is the question. There doesn't seem to be much in this room. Nothing on the ceiling. It's pretty flat in general in most of these rooms. And I mentioned before that there really wasn't much in the way of textures, but it looks like at least the wooden floor here does have a texture. Or is that even a texture, or is it actually just individual polygons again? It may be that as well. The developer has been pretty dedicated in the concept of moving these things around and setting them up sort of like pieces in a jigsaw puzzle. Now, we've got a house inside the house. Pretty sure that's our clue for houseception. The thing that I also wanted to have happen, and this isn't actually a thing, but I thought it would be really cool if you could make this large enough that you could actually walk under the bed and maybe there would be a crystal under there or something. But I'm pretty sure that the crystal we're after lies inside of this red house. So we'll get some positioning here set up. We'll scale the sucker up and see. Actually, we're going to have to scale the other one down, I think, to get enough scale juice to be able to handle this. Alright, so let's just walk right in. There we go. That should do it. Now, is this going to be the same layout as the other house? It looks like it might be. Yeah, nothing really going on the bottom floor. There's also an attic, I noticed, which you can kind of clip into by accident if you put yourself in the right spot. But there doesn't seem to be anything going on in the attic. I'm just checking out every single room to make sure. Oh, okay, so now we've got... Oh, the crystal's kind of coming through the wall there, but that's alright. Oh, a very fancy velvety bed. And it seems to be that we've got some kind of a scale that we need to set something up on top of here. Now, can I just step on this and see what I weigh? Myself? Oh, I can scale the house even while I'm in it. That's kind of an important thing to know. What about... No, can't really mess with the treasure chest by itself. So I'm going to have to probably go back outside and grab some kind of item that we can put on the scale to see if we can maybe activate that treasure chest. Let's grab one of these pine trees, first thing I see. Well, I guess it's not really a pine tree. It's a typically piney formation, except the leaves are leaves and not needles in this case. Can I carry this in the house, though? I think it maybe is a little too large. Okay, that might not work. What if I position it a little differently? No, okay, I guess things are actually not going to allow me to do that. So let's go grab, I think there were some flowers around somewhere. Yep, right by the front door here, the front archway. Alright, it's too big. Make it smaller. There's also a little bit of an air of like a more serious version of Katamari Damacy in this, which I think is really cool. I mean, that's one of my favorite games ever. So the fact that we can play with scale like this, and it has, you know, a sort of an almost serious vibe to it. I mean, it's serious, but it's not too serious. It just feels right. And what does this require? Oh, I guess we just needed anything on there. So we've got our crystal, and things should be good. If I can pick that up. Can I pick it up? I mean, I'm standing right on top of it. Too big. Can I make it smaller? Well, now I'm just going to clip through the ceiling. Okay, I've actually fallen through to the floor below. Well, maybe this part isn't quite worked out yet, but that's not a problem. Regardless, I pretty much get the idea. Maybe it just needs to actually be substantially bigger, because I wasn't able to properly clip in the right way to be able to pick up the jewel through the side of the treasure chest or something. Maybe? Okay, oh, there we go. Okay, it just wasn't big enough. Particle get. So we could head back to the hub, but I think this should give you a reasonable expectation of what there is going on in scale. Like I said, it's a great game. It feels great. I like the atmosphere of it. I like the ambience of it. I'd like to go up there and explore around a little bit, and I also am really sort of eagerly anticipating what is going to be the framework of this game beyond just this one little area. Is it going to turn out that the world itself requires scaling and manipulation to get around? I feel like that's possible, considering there's actually scalable objects here. So, I mean, if the game turns into sort of a meta puzzle within a puzzle, where you've got, you know, these little miniature worlds with puzzles in them, and then the world itself has puzzles, I think that's a great setup. I really enjoy games that take a structure sort of similar to that. I'm sort of curious also if I can now cross this gap now that I have the scale gun. Juice empty. Oh, that's the worst. Yeah, okay, I guess these guys aren't going to really help me out, so I'm going to need some sort of an item that's going to allow me to cross that. Oh, I can shrink these down. Maybe I can use that in a way to extend the other ones? Not really sure. So I guess that sort of answered my question already. Is there a puzzle within a puzzle? I think there kind of has to be, right? Can I continue to extend? Oh, wow, I can. Now, what's that going to help me with, though? If I get down there, can I actually walk up a surface that sheer? Maybe, maybe not. Oh, I can, but it just barely. I don't know if I feel like I'm supposed to be able to go up this, but I can. Cool, so I actually figured out the way to get up to this wild place. Now, I don't know if I was supposed to go... Oh, need more particles. I was gonna say, I probably shouldn't be allowed to at this point. Is there a laser sight on my gun? I didn't even notice that until just now. But all in all, great presentation, great graphical aesthetic, great art style, great music, great premise. I mean, really all around, I really enjoy Scale. So I think you guys should definitely check it out. The Kickstarter is still going to be up at the time of this recording for a couple more days, so you'll definitely want to go have a look. I'm not sure exactly how early or what the time frame is exactly for when this game is going to be distributed, but I mean, as you can tell, there's a lot to see and do in this. It's going to be a really fabulous experience, so really don't know what else to say other than it gets my complete and utter ringing endorsement. So go check out Scale. Link's going to be in the description. I'm told also if the developer does reach one of the further stretch goals, this might actually make it out on PS4 as well, which is pretty awesome. And I would love to see a game with this sort of vibe behind it reach, you know, that new audience. We can only do what we can only do. So I hope that this might help a little bit in that campaign, and I do definitely urge you guys to go check it out. Without going in too many more circles, though, that is going to wrap us up for our episode on Scale. Please do check out the description for the link for the game itself, rather, and then also for my social media links. Oh, you can actually see that number through the wall there. I wonder if that's intentional. Could be just useful for, like, you know, view-finding, pathfinding type of tool, so you can see what's ahead of you. But yeah, while you're in the description, check out my other links, like my Twitter, my Twitch, my Facebook, and of course, indie-impressions.com, where you can find nearly 600 other episodes in this series. Go check it out, see if you can find anything that you're interested in. There's plenty of stuff categorized and sorted for you. And and this will be taking a place amongst those items. So with that, I will head out for another day. Thank you so much for being here, and of course, thank you for your continued support with the series. Please do let me know if you're still enjoying things. Please do leave any support you can, of course. Likes are always welcome if you think I deserve them. And comments, of course, let me know what you think of this game, and what you think the applications of a larger design might be, where you think this might be going. Or if you're excited for it, if you might criticize it in any particular way, let me know all of that stuff. I'm always curious to promote discussion when possible. But with that, I will be off. Thank you again for watching, and I hope to catch you again tomorrow. New episodes are every single day, pretty much same time, roughly between 3 and 5 p.m. Eastern, on the same channel every time, youtube.com/RockLeeSmile. I will catch you later, and I hope you have a lovely night.